5 seconds to submergence. Submergence deep into the absurd.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cool.
Yeah, Michelob Ultra, dude, they're just way better than all the beers.
No, Michelob Ultra is definitely the best beer. As far as just plain beer, I like it the most. If I'm drinking a
Sponsor.
Corona, I'll always have a lime with it.
Yeah. If
But-
I don't have a lime with a Corona, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't taste right.
It's a sin.
It's a sin. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get it. We have Daniel Torres today on the Into the Absurd podcast. We're going to get into alternative medicine and relationships, as well as the concept of being your authentic self, especially as you're going through early adulthood and you're navigating through, relationships, family problems, career choices, all these things that are kind of just pushing us around in our young age. And maybe we'll get into what it means to become a man, especially in the modern day. So,
Thank you for having me on, Greg. I appreciate it. I'm
yeah,
excited.
welcome.
Yeah. Never done anything like this, but I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And a special thanks to Daniel for the Michelob Ultras.
You're
So,
very welcome. Sponsor us.
all right. So, how you're a massage therapist,
Licensed massage therapist.
licensed
correct.
massage therapist.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a technical term at that
Alright.
point, but yeah. So I don't know. I got into massage therapy around 2019. I've only been doing it for a year and a half now. I consider myself pretty good. The reason I got into it though was so January 2019, I was in college at North Idaho Community College, just getting my associate's degree, and that January, my father, he actually is the one that kind of like pushed me towards that with his health issues that he's had over the years. He's a type 2 diabetic, and he had a diabetic ulcer. I don't know if you know what that is.
I do not.
So a diabetic ulcer is when you're a diabetic. Say you have peripheral neuropathy, which is you lose sensation in your feet and your hands. Most of the time, it's in your hands. Like you can't really feel small, distinct items. What doctors will do when they're testing you for peripheral neuropathy, they'll have you sit at the edge of their bed or whatnot, and they'll take a feather and they'll brush the bottom of your foot. And if you can't feel that, then that's a display that you might have peripheral neuropathy. So that's what my dad had. And he actually, at the time we were moving homes, and he kicked a box, not knowing it at the time. He actually, when he kicked it, the nail on his pinky toe just completely came off, and he was sweating, doing all this other types of moving, and that diabetic ulcer led to a bone infection, and that bone infection developed rapidly, and he ultimately
Can I pause you for a second?
Yeah, go for it. What's up?
What is a bone infection?
Bone
Does it
infections-
infect the marrow, or
Yeah, so bone infection, it will develop rapidly. The infection will go from tissue and then transfer to the bone, and it will kind of decay and make the bone dead. When you look at a bone,
wow?
it looks like a white bone, right? Like you've seen. But when you have a bone infection, that whiteness in the bone is completely black and almost a little gray. So that's what my dad had in his lateral 2 toes, his pinky toe and then the fourth toe. And that ultimately led to a worse infection up his foot. And the doctors, they figured we need to do an operation in order to save your leg. Because in the big, broad picture, they're trying to save his leg, they're trying to save his health, and they're not as much worried about the foot and the lower part of the leg. So in January, he actually got a 2019 below the knee amputation. About if you were to take your hand and move it down below your knee 2 lengths, that's about how far they took. So that happened, and I saw how massage therapy and physical therapy, as well as all the other like PT, that helped his recovery and his mood. It was mainly his mood, and it just made him a happier person towards the end of the day. And massage therapy is what helped him, and ultimately that's why I wanted to get into it. So I got into massage therapy, peak COVID. It was awful. And if you could imagine being a therapist around that time, it's a lot, like when you're going to school, it's more hands-on, right? Like
Yeah.
you're doing a lot of manual manipulation of the muscle tissues and all that type of stuff. And then March 20 is when we went online schooling. So we did a lot more of our...
March 2020?
Yeah, March 2020.
Okay.
Peak COVID type shit. We went in and we did Zoom calls instead of like meeting in person. And that's when we got a lot of our curriculum done, like pathology, kinesiology, anatomy and physiology, and ethics. And then that... It was a year-long program that I did. We weren't online the entire year. We were only online for about a month, just that month of March, and then went back to the classroom and started working with the tissues. And I was there for a year. It was at a school called the American Institute of Clinical Massage. It's actually in Post Falls. I don't know if you know where the Highlands Golf Course is at.
I think I might know where it's at. I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of like when you first drive in and it's over. Is it towards the right?
Which direction are you coming from or going? Sorry, like yeah.
Sorry, you're driving from Coeur d'Alene to Post Falls.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to be
on your right hand side?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, do you know where? I'll try and use a little few landmarks. Sonic is over in Post Falls. It's up that little mountain.
That's where I thought. That's where I think my grandma used to live there.
Nice.
Yeah. I thought she lived in the Highlands. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Anyways, so that's where I went to school. Moved over to not Post Falls. Moved over to Seattle right after school. That was okay. I mean, I didn't not enjoy it, but I definitely enjoy living in Coeur d'Alene a lot more than Seattle. And now I'm starting a new job, but I've told you this, that it's a long process with this new place. It's a new career, or it's a new clinic, and they're just taking their time trying to fill my schedule and whatnot. But once my schedule is filled, I'll be good.
And what are they called, if you don't mind?
So it's a clinic off of
Appleway, right?
It's kind of off of Appleway. It's technically off of it's called Optimal Living Institute.
Okay.
Off of I don't know what it is. Am I allowed to cuss on here? Sorry.
Yeah, you can say all you want.
Off of Howard Street in Coeur d'Alene.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a new clinic, really nice building. They do chiropractic work. There's a few other holistic opportunities there. They work a lot with clients with and patients that have cancer. There is one of the modalities that is offered there is an alternative way for treating breast cancer. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay.
They work with lasers. I don't know exactly what that means, just because like they showed me and I was like, okay, what is this? And they said I was going to be trained in it. So once I get trained in that, that'll be kind of cool. I don't know exactly what it is.
So, all right, do you know anything about it? Or
I've seen I've seen what the machine looks like, and that's about it. It's just like something that they said that it's something that would go towards the end of a massage treatment, and it's like laser heat therapy.
okay.
So
Interesting.
what I would imagine it would be like something like is like the hotness to icy hot type of thing.
Yeah, it's probably kind of like those like steamed rocks or whatever that they do in some massage therapy.
That is more along the spa side of things.
Okay.
And I feel like this is going to be more like technical and clinical.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
hope at
lasers.
least.
It's
Fucking
lasers,
lasers.
dude. Okay.
But yeah, I'll get trained in that, and that'll just kind of be a different modality that I do. For my specific type of massage, I am very proficient in Swedish deep tissue and sports massage.
Okay.
I try to implement all of those techniques into every one of my massages with every client and patient. They and all specifically work with some clients on like areas that they're having trouble with. Like a lot of clients have low back issues. They'll have sciatica. They'll have thoracic outlet syndrome, and I'll just kind of work around their needs. So
that's awesome.
yeah, I mean I love what I do. It's definitely chose the right career path for me. You know? Especially with my dad's situation, I felt like it was the right move to do.
Yeah, and I think people really underestimate the power of alternative healing methods.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of just going to the doctor, they give you some drugs and, and whatnot. You know, you gotta go to physical therapy. You gotta get a massage.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing is just moving as much as you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, some of the top athletes, they'll do cupping, like fucking Michael Phelps. You saw like in the Olympics when he was in the Olympics, he had cupping. I don't know if you know who Chris Bumstead is.
I don't.
He's a 3-time Mr. Olympian, like bodybuilder or
Wow.
bodybuilder. He does massage therapy and acupuncture. He's a big dude, and he does it like weekly or bi-weekly, and it's just something a lot of like top athletes they'll do. And that's what I ultimately want to do, is like something with athletes. Like I would love to be like on the field as like a massage therapist trainer. Like if a athlete or someone, whoever I'm with at that time, they get like a Charlie horse on the side of the field, I'm able to, or a stinger, I can help them work through that. And I almost had the opportunity to work with UW. That was so close. I was so excited. If I would have gotten that job, I would move back to Seattle.
Yeah.
But they ultimately went with a different, more experienced trainer. Or not trainer, therapist.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, like I said, they still have all my information, and they just went with someone more experienced. At the end of the day, I've only been doing this for a year. I mean, to even get an opportunity like that is a win in my book. And
absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, you're lucky to be doing what you're doing, doing something that you feel passionate about, and you don't have to sit you don't have to sit all day behind a desk, and you gotta communicate with people, and like ultimately you're helping everyone. Everyone's happy.
It's a very
So
therapeutic job in my eyes, just because I'm working with so many people. They like are either, when they come in to see me and get a massage and a treatment from myself, they're either really happy to see me, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this, or towards the end of the treatment and they're leaving, they're like, oh my god, I needed that type of thing. And that to me it's satisfying, you know, like I'm able to help those people live a better life. Have you ever had a massage before?
I don't really like massages.
Fair enough. A lot of people don't.
Yeah, I feel it makes me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's like it's just. I mean, maybe I just haven't had a good one. It's usually
it's
like
completely fine. I mean, there's so many people that I know that are like, no, don't touch me type of thing, and it's not for most people.
Yeah, I've given a lot of massages, but
Yeah. I mean, I like amateurly, like before I even went into school, that's what I was doing with my father. Is like, he's like, oh, can you like put an elbow in my shoulder really quick, or along those lines, or put like in the spine.
Yeah.
And
no, on a swim team, I used to give everyone massages. I would just like be the massage guy.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, it does, like, it feels good when you know that you're helping their performance by like rubbing out like whatever needs to be like rubbed down or whatever. I don't know the technical terms, but
yeah, I mean, I use terms like manual manipulation of the tissue instead of like rub out, because it just sounds funny, rub out, you know.
Okay.
But I was gonna ask you, you work out at Planet Fitness. Do you have what type of membership do you have? Do you have like the gold, or
just the normal one?
Just the normal $10 one. Okay. I have the $20 one, and it gets you the hydro massage chairs that they have over there, and like the normal massage chairs over there. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not, in my opinion at least, as good as a treatment as if it were to be like with an actual human being. Yeah. But if you're just getting into massage, get like one of those types of massage where it's like with the chair massage, or the hydro pressure massage, or even like a Theragun or like massage gun. I have one of those. Those are nice, and those are great for like warming up your tissues before you're going to work out, or like on a hike, or if you come back from a workout and you need to like, or you're sore. Those are great.
So ultimately, what does a massage do to your muscles, to your tissues? So
there's a few things. The top 2 or 3 that I can think of off the top of my head are, one, and these are in no particular order. One is you're creating circulation to bring nutrients, minerals, and water ultimately to that tissue, to rehydrate it, to renutrize it, and get it a recovery, basically. And then a second thing is, it's kind of like a workout, because if you think about it, your tissues, they're the best way that I can explain it, they are, if you were to link your fingers together like this, right? And if I were to go over that tissue with my elbow, or like my knuckles, or anything along those lines, it's going to stretch that tissue out. And that ultimately is, if you're getting into like working out or something along those lines, that's what you're doing as well. You're stretching that muscle out. So it's, in a sense, kind of a workout as well. And then it's working out knots. Like, you have like tense areas, you have sore spots. those areas are going to ultimately feel like they are going to be stretched, and you'll feel better at the end of the day.
So what is a knot?
Well, that's
Like-
kind of what I was explaining. Like, so
Oh,
this, like, when I was explaining with the fingers across, right? This is basically your tissue fibers. They run. There's a few different patterns. There's linear. There's parallel. There's perpendicular. Your eye sockets are orbital, and your mouth. You have like an orbital. But I don't do anything around like.
The face.
Yeah, I'm just adjusting the mic. Yeah, I don't do any tissue work around the face unless it's. I do some lymph drainage, but anyways, that's beside the point.
So it's just like bunched up.
It's bunched up
Bunched up
tissue that is almost kind of like a small micro cramp, and
Okay.
that you're not really feeling. And a lot of the times when I'm working tissue and working with my clients and patients, they'll think that they have like a knot. I'm using quotations, but ultimately it's just a crossroad of all the different muscles, and it's just getting caught on those other muscles. So, like for example, your shoulders and your back, your rhomboids and like scapula area right around there, there's like 8 or 9 different muscles that are just crossing, like perpendicular, diagonal, and when you move around, it's ultimately it might get like a hinge or like like stuck, and that's what the client is feeling, and they think it's a knot, and it's really like you just need to stretch those muscles out to where you can have more mobility, and you won't feel it as much, which is what I try to explain a lot. Every now and then I'll feel a lot of muscles in the low back and hips area. They'll have a lot of knots and stuff like that.
So you're familiar with Wim Hof, right?
Yeah.
Do you like look into any of this as far as when you're thinking about treating someone with massage therapy? Do you consider telling them about like Wim Hof and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I'll make a few recommendations to my clients, whether that be like stretching, not so much the like. I'll suggest like a cold shower every now and then, not like breathing techniques by like, oh, you should go look up Wim Hof type of thing. But
Wim Hof.
So yeah. I'll suggest like my biggest thing that I will suggest is a tropical ointment or topical ointment called BioFreeze. It's a really good like icy hot recovery type of thing, and I use that all the time for like if I'm feeling sore in my like joints. It's really good for your knees or excuse me, muscle tissue aches, like with your low back or something along those lines.
So this is kind of moving to a different topic, but as far as mental health is a really big problem in the United States, and especially just in Western countries in general, like English speaking countries, mental health is the worst. Like in Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand, and obviously like people in New Zealand speak. I'm pretty sure they actually speak like other languages, but that's besides the point. Mental health is a big issue, and have you noticed that, or have you learned anything about the effect of massage therapy on mental health?
Yeah, so one of the classes that I took in school for massage therapy was ethics and as well as pathology. So we learned about like all the different mental pathologies. Can't really remember them off the top of my head. And then the ethics around those and how massage therapy can ultimately change someone's mood. You know, you go in there thinking like you're down and you're in the slumps. It ultimately is gonna make that person, that client, that patient, they're gonna come out with a better mood. I mean, there's so many studies where it just improves your daily mood. Uh, yeah, I mean, I've had clients come in that just are there for relaxation. Like, I do relaxation massages. I'm not like, gonna say I don't. And uh, they yeah, they come out and they're better for it. Like, a lot of clients, that's what they're going for. I mean, they'll get a prescription from their doctor when I was working with insurances and stuff along those lines. They'll get prescriptions for like just better mental health, and massage therapy is a great way to do that. At the end of the day, a lot of older clients actually, they'll just come in for the physical touch of it. Like, they're not. I don't know what their situations are, but what I've learned is a lot of times older clients, like, I wouldn't say geriatric, but close to that, and maybe some geriatric clients themselves will just come in for being touched because they're not going to be getting that to their in their day-to-day life, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it.
I think a lot of people these days are deprived of being touched.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially the past couple of years, you know, with COVID and everything.
Yeah,
and,
especially because of COVID.
yeah, I mean, people don't hug each other as much as they used to, and a lot of people are closed off. They're staying at their home. They're not going out, and yeah, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, are you familiar with psychological dualism?
Explain it.
It's essentially, we'll have to go back to Descartes. Do you know who Descartes is? That's okay. He's just a philosopher. I think Danish. Not 100% sure, but he was around a while ago. I think in the 1700s, and really, I'm pretty sure he's the father of modern science. Not 100% sure about that, but he's the guy who said, "I think, therefore I am." Right? And I have a few problems with this. One, he's instigating a certain amount of psychological dualism in the sense that the mind and the body are separate.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I think, therefore I am, right? As if thinking is the only thing that comes into play when we're thinking about being, right? About existing.
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, one cannot think without their body because the body has the brain, right? So when I think of this, you cannot separate the mind from the body.
No.
You just can't. It's the mind and the body are together. The body is the mind is the body.
Yeah. Some people will challenge that, honestly, though, because, like, they'll go on some, like, DMT or, like, ayahuasca trip, and they'll say, like, oh, I was totally out of this world. I was like, okay. I've never done that, but I'm just, like, kind of playing devil's advocate at that point. Continue.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, you'll think, okay, like my body doesn't matter, but the body really does matter.
It does.
And because clean body, clean mind. When you're healthier, when you treat your body how it should be treated, your mind feels that positive effect because your mind is a part of your body. And I'm saying this because, you know, like as a massage therapist, you're not just healing people's bodies, you're healing their minds too.
Yeah, and with that, being able to do all that stuff, me personally, I like to live a healthy and active lifestyle. Like, I'm not going to just kind of throw all that away. I've told you this. I used to be 220 in high school. and then took one nutrition health class when I was in college at NIC, and it just completely changed me.
Yeah.
And being able to live a healthy and active lifestyle is a big part of your mental health. I always felt I had like my clear-minded and focused whenever I am doing those types of things, you know?
Yeah. And I think like learning about health, learning about your body it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
So you just because you brought it up,
Yeah.
you brought up ayahuasca,
Yeah.
and this is an alternative medicine, right? And do you ever look into alternative medicines, not just for mental health, like lion's mane, for instance, you were telling me about the other day?
Yeah, lion's mane is great for your brain and memory, specifically, at least. I have a long family history of dementia, and I'm trying not to get that. And ultimately, lion's mane mushrooms are a good alternative and supplement to do that. That's why I take it, at least.
Yeah, I think there's lots of just natural medicines that people can take that are a lot healthier for your body than, like all the antidepressants and all that. Like, for instance, I think it's called St. John's wort. Have you heard of that before?
Mm-mm. What is that?
It's this plant that people can take. I believe it's for anxiety and depression.
So, like, something you take with, like a tea or something?
You, I perhaps,
Yeah.
but I think most people just take it in capsules.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's this
St. John's what?
St. John's wort.
St. John.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird name, but
How'd you figure this out?
in one of my psychology classes, actually,
Okay.
I took a clinical psychology class in college.
Mhm.
So they talked about St. John's wort when we were going over depression, anxiety. It's interesting. I'm not 100% sure how it works. I've taken it before.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I felt the effects, but
How long did you take it for?
just a month.
Just a month.
Yeah,
Is it expensive or no?
it's less expensive than lion's mane.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
So,
nice.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I think I was reading, what was it? Civilized to Death by Chris Ryan, which pretty sure I brought up on this podcast way too many times, but that's okay. I think I'm pretty sure this is the book that I saw this in, not 100% sure. But they were talking about how in tribal communities with shamans and whatnot, when you're able to tell people and make them believe that you're healing them, they're able to heal. Because our minds are, again, they're 100% connected to our bodies, right? So the placebo effect is very much a real thing, in the sense that when you believe something is happening, it might start to happen to your body, right? Or when you believe that something's happening to your body, it might start to happen to your body. And with that said, that's why a lot of these placebos, like you'll see these, like what's it called, Ollie gummies. Have you heard of those?
Mm-mm.
They're just these. There's these gummies that you can buy in, like, nutrient stores that they'll have like all these labels like sleep, stay focused, or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And it just has a bunch of herbal stuff in it. Yeah, and all
like,
that kind of
lose 20 pounds and like those types of ones too. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't.
Like the lose 20 pounds fast or whatever type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
take this pill.
Yeah.
You think or no? Am I on the right track with that or no?
No, I agree. I think
Okay.
stuff like that could work as well. It's also, I think when you do stuff like that, you end up doing other things that help you,
Mm.
uh, like with your goal. Um, like for instance, if I can't fall asleep,
Mm-hmm.
I'll take a melatonin, and then along with the melatonin, I'll also
Meditate.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try to meditate as well. And like obviously, melatonin isn't a placebo because
Whenever I take
it works.
melatonin, I always feel like my eyes get heavy. I'm not actually being tired. My eyes, they just get super, super, super heavy.
Yeah,
And that's what ultimately makes me fall to sleep. But I don't feel very tired at the end of the day when I take a melatonin. I'll meditate. I meditated last night to go to sleep, and it was just way better than taking melatonin. It's more holistic.
yeah. For some reason, for me, when I meditate, it doesn't always make me feel relaxed at the end. Sometimes it makes me feel more energized.
Really?
It's a problem.
Do you
So,
overthink a lot?
yeah.
Yeah, me too. I listened to this meditation last night. I'll have to get it to it for you, but it was a really good one, and I just completely passed out afterwards. Like they were like at the end of the meditation, they're like, "Oh, you can sit here for as long as you want," type of thing, and it did exactly that, and then I like started to doze off, and then another video started to play. I don't know what it was, but like that just like it blew up, and like the sound from that, I was like, whoa. I woke up for a second, had to turn it off, and then just went back to sleep. So I'll have to get it for you.
Cool.
Yeah.
So as far as this is your passion, and when you're a young adult and you're pursuing your passion, it can get kind of difficult because there's a lot of people who will doubt you, lots of people who won't support you for whatever reason, or they'll say like, "Why don't you just do this?" Blah blah blah. Do you ever get any of that?
I mean, I see so much shit for being a massage therapist. I mean,
Yeah.
during the like, I always try to correct people whenever they say masseuse.
Yeah.
So masseuse is a term that masseuse and masseur. They're both French words. One is for a she, one is for a he. Masseur is he, masseuse is she. Uh, those terms are associated with the 70s and 80s for the happy endings. And that's what I always like try to correct people on, as well as just the happy ending jokes in general. I mean, I see it all the time, and at the end of the day, they don't faze me at this point. But
Yeah.
I do try and make it a priority whenever someone says masseuse and monsieur.
Yeah. That makes
That's the
sense.
only, like, it's not anybody specifically that has said that. But it's just, if someone does, I like, when I'm up at, like, out at the bars, or, like, just talking
Yeah.
to, like, my client or something along those lines, I like, try to correct them at that point.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I don't think I've even heard that word in a while.
Masseuse and monsieur.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. Yeah, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's something I learned when I was in massage therapy school. So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess I haven't really. I mean, I want to be a writer, right, an author,
Hmm.
and I haven't really received that much criticism for that.
Yeah.
So.
That's good, dude.
Yes.
I mean, as long as people are supportive. I mean,
Yeah.
I always try to keep supportive people around in my life. Like, there are a few people that I'm like, I should probably cut that relationship off, but I can't, and I won't, just because, like,
Yeah,
they're fun to hang out with, you know,
that makes
from
sense.
time to time.
No, I feel the same way about some people where.
That's, like, one of the things that, like, I want to get into it more and start doing as I get older.
What
Just
specifically?
just specifically, like, being around more responsible people, like
Yeah.
And just being around those types of people is ultimately going to help you be a better person, make better life decisions. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but sometimes some people are just stuck to you for life. So
Yeah, that's very true.
you can't really avoid it.
You could if you just move, but it's so hard to move nowadays.
Yeah, and then you'll have to visit, and
Who says you'll have to visit though? That's the thing.
that's true.
Unless
true.
they're family, then
Yeah. So, as far as like moving into adulthood, what do you think it means to be a man?
When
Or
I
to
was
become
growing
a
up,
man?
being a man just means being able to not necessarily provide for your household as the sole bread maker, but more so as being a supportive family member, whether that be a father, an uncle, brother. And I think ultimately being the man of the house doesn't really have any say nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be the dude, you can be the guy in the house, but ultimately you're gonna be there with someone.
Yeah.
In my eyes, and I think at that point you should try to do your best. Like, obviously, bring in your fair share type of thing. But yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I'm not necessarily a man of my house. I mean, I try. I provide. Yeah, I don't know. I ultimately think I need a family before I'm able to answer that question. Not even a family, just like, I don't know, someone to like hang out with, a woman. And
I guess the
how
biggest
about you?
thing isn't necessarily like what you do as a man. I guess it's just how you
It's a loaded
interact.
question. It's a loaded question. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
it's a loaded question. I think it's about like what you do with your family, and how you
time.
interact with them.
Like quality time.
Yeah, quality time, and just being nice to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the time thing is important. Being patient, listening.
That's ultimately why I wanted to move back to Coeur d'Alene. When I was, excuse me, when I was in Seattle, I felt like I was closed off, and my family was more closed off. I was, I missed things that I really wish I didn't miss. You know, like,
Yeah.
I think I was telling you about this yesterday or the day before. Like, my grandmother's passing away. I missed that. Wasn't even here for that.
Yeah.
My niece's birth. Wasn't here for that. Wish I was here for that. And then just seeing my family more. I mean, now that I'm here, it's like, okay, I could use a break from now and then.
Yeah.
But
I feel that.
But I think that's what moving out and being able to be close to them and like with them is gonna ultimately be nice. And I feel like, okay, moving back to like being a man type of thing, I think we all have this idea of like we all want to strive and we all want to be the best person we can be, but like we never take in like I want to try and do more of this. I never stop and like just appreciate what I already have. I'm always working towards something. I'm always trying to do something better, and ultimately that is gonna eat away, and I'll create this false reality that for myself, and I ultimately won't be able to enjoy the time that I will have with my family, with whoever, my friends, you know. So I think I'm gonna start trying to start implementing like, dude, you need to slow down. Like that's a little too far, and I don't know what that is, but you know.
No, I agree. Sometimes I'm way too focused on like trying to write and stuff and like this podcast that I kind of just forget about the fact that I'm not going to be here that long and I should probably spend more time with my friends and my family.
Yeah.
Um, that like I'm spending all this time focused on trying to be like I guess quote unquote be someone, right?
Mm.
Be an author. Um, and I'm not spending enough time being with someone, if that makes sense.
No, yeah. I
So
mean, I always, I was just saying, contradicting myself. Like, sometimes I want to be with my family, sometimes I don't want to be with my family, and I feel like at the end of the day, it's a happy medium that you have to find, you know? Yeah.
yeah,
I want to go spend some time with my family. I want to actually, yeah, I want to go spend some time with my family, like my dad and my younger sister. Go see like a movie or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
it'd be nice. Yeah, and I gotta go up to your property.
yeah, definitely, dude. Like during the summer, it'll be so fun. We'll take a float down Coeur d'Alene River and
Cool.
we'll have some of these Michelob Ultras.
Yeah, yeah. I'll buy the next round. So cool.
Sounds good.
So I did want to get into relationships. We obviously don't have to talk about a specific situations,
Mm-hmm.
but um, as far as both of us have had girlfriends, both of us have been through breakups. Um, I have cheated in the past on a girl, um, and it was horrible, and I regret it. I
Yeah.
really, really regret it. Um,
Yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you. Breakup. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where you want to go with this.
well, basically, I think the root of the problem is that I wasn't being my authentic self around my girlfriend. I wasn't opening up to her. I wasn't telling her about my feelings. I wasn't really even trying
Yeah.
to
I
do that.
yeah. I feel that too. Like towards the end of my relationship, at least the last like I don't know, I'd say 6 to 3 months. The last 6 to 3 months of our relationship, I just started to either not be as committed or start to just push her away. And I think I was telling you and Sam this ultimate the other day, like being able to take time to spend more time with her specifically and that time like either and stop watching fucking porn. If
Yeah,
I would have stopped watching porn like a month or 2 months in advance, I feel like I would still be with the person today, you know? I
yeah,
don't know why or how that affected it so much, but ever since then, I feel like I've had more of a commitment to try and make any type of relationship, whether it be a girlfriend or a friend like yourself, just a stronger bond with them. I don't know.
yeah, because you're kind of replacing the bond that you have with that person with pornography.
Yeah.
And there's also the other situation where I've done this with almost all of my ex girlfriends, is that we texted too much.
Yeah.
And I think, in a sense, that's you and them are almost participating in this addictive activity of texting each other.
Mm.
And you're not really talking to each other, you're really talking to the written word uh, translation of
Yeah.
them, if that makes sense.
Texting loses so much translation and
Yeah.
emphasis in like words and stuff like that. Like, I've been on Tinder for a while now. Probably like a week actually.
Okay.
And
Lit.
I've had a couple of matches, but then it goes nowhere because like you're just texting. You know?
Is there a call option on Tinder?
I don't think so. I don't know if I would want to call though. I would rather like meet up in person. You know,
Yeah.
like Tinder. It's got this like, what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck. Stigma? Is that the right word?
Yeah, stigma.
Yeah, it's got this stigma where it's like you only meet up to have
Yeah, to fuck.
but like that's not what I ultimately want to do. I am ultimately there to make a connection with someone. I ultimately just want to talk to someone too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and there was this one chick that I talked to. I actually got her Snapchat off of Tinder.
Okay.
And like I don't know though, like she's like, I told her that I was like, hey, I just want to fucking talk to someone at the end of the day, type of thing. And she's like, oh yeah, me too. Like, here's my Snapchat. And once I got her Snapchat, she just doesn't talk. She's just not there, type of thing. I'm like, I'm gonna move past it, you know, like I might probably stop talking to her, type of thing. But yeah, just someone to talk to at the end of the day, and that honestly, like anyone.
Yeah, and be honest with them.
Be honest. Honesty is key. Honesty is key.
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of that when I was in my most previous relationship.
I didn't do that in any of mine.
Any of yours? Yeah.
No, it was.
I mean, there were times.
I mean, I lied about my feelings. I didn't really lie a whole lot about like what I was doing.
Yeah, like when she asked, like, "Oh, how are you doing?" type of thing, and you're like,
I'm
"Oh,
good."
I'm fine," type of thing. You're not fine. You want to say something, but then it's like, I would rather. I'm not a conflict type of guy. Like, I don't go out trying to like fight someone or anything along those lines. Too. I don't go looking for that. And I'm in the same way with the relationship. If it was possible for me to avoid a fight in a relationship, I would rather do that. I mean, I obviously know that not every relationship's going to be perfect. You're going to have your fights, but like, I don't know. It's just something about it. I wish I could like control it, and I wouldn't say I'm a very controlling dude at the end of the day, but that is one thing where it's like if I could, I would want to.
Do you think you're your authentic self in relationships or in your past one?
Definitely my most recent one. I feel like I was better about it than the previous one. I definitely think I can work on some things, that's for sure. And ultimately, like I'm the type of guy that's not gonna date someone unless I'm like certain like it might go somewhere. Like I might marry the girl, type of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of how I am. If I feel like there's no possibility that we're gonna get married in the future, then I cut it off.
Yeah, and.
But a lot of times it's possible. So.
Yeah, I'm with you, Greg.
I mean, it's easy to for me. The thing that I do is that as soon as I start dating them, I start trying to think of I think of the things that I don't like about them. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I could I start trying to find ways to justify those things, and then thinking like, okay, I can handle those.
See, that's what I felt like when I was in Seattle.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, the city of Seattle, it's there's a lot of homeless people, and there is a different way of life. And I was like, oh, this will be fine. Like, I have a chance to, if I live here, to change those types of things if I were to vote, right? And if at the end of the day, those little things just kept adding up, and they became a big thing, and that's what ultimately made me want to move back to Coeur d'Alene. And
Yeah.
I think that's fine in your case. Like, I will probably do the same thing, and I'm just gonna try and find something. I think I say all this right, but I haven't even talked to a fucking girl just because like it's hard, dude. It's like I don't like being single, and
it sucks being single.
yeah,
It does. It's way better to have someone.
yeah.
So, I mean, we're social creatures. We're not really meant to be alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think everything in life kind of comes down to your relationship with it, and having a healthy relationship, and having a healthy relationship with yourself. Like, this goes with drugs. This goes with the towns that you're living in, the people that you're with. Because, like, anyone can drink beer, right? But some people are alcoholics because their relationship with alcohol is bad. They depend on it too heavily. Anyone can live in Seattle, right? But you can have a bad relationship with Seattle in the sense that maybe you don't utilize the public transportation enough and you waste too much money on gas or something like that. I don't know. Or with being in a relationship, like a romantic relationship or a friendship, a lot of times we aren't honest with ourselves. At least I'm not, and I let it go on longer than I should, because I'm not honest with them, and I put on the facade of like Prince Charming or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm not Prince Charming. I'm just Greg. So.
Just Greg. Yeah. I mean, I felt like I was fairly open with my most previous relationship. There were times where I was super closed off, like I said, towards the six month mark, or towards the end of that. There were times where I was like, yeah, I'm fine type of thing, and I just wouldn't open up, and I wish I would have. I'm glad at the end of the day, you can love someone, but be glad you're not in that relationship anymore. And that's what ultimately I am.
That's how I feel too. Alright. Yeah. Well, I think that's a good place to end it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you for having me on, Greg.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate it.